Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Welcome to the channel and welcome back if you are returning. I have prepared a game plan for the rest of the year for the daily color. So I am going to share it with you. I have a set of books. These are them. They are all new books that I have bought new that have not been touched. And most of them have been bought this year because traditionally I buy used books. I love to give used books new homes. So these are all in alphabetical order. I am going to color the first page in each of the books. So we're going to quickly flip through them. And depending on our time, I might actually do a little coloring at the end and call this a daily color strategy meeting. So here we have some colors. These are Holbein and Brutfuner Macarons. It's a combo, and here is what I've done. I am going to do the front page of each of these books, and then from there I can cycle through again if I am feeling like this is enough variety of books for me. So this is what I have started on, and this is what we will color in at the end if we have time. Here is these are two books by Kameliya Angelkova. I bought these by mistake. I thought they were 8.5 by 11s. They were supposed to be replacing Small Victories, which I had finished. And as you can see, they are very large. So this will be the page that we color in vacation miniatures. However, because of the size of the images, these lend themselves to the marker coloring, so I will be using alcohol markers. So that's what this will be colored in, and the alcohol markers that I own are Copic. I should put that one aside. I just received Hidden Seasons is the most recent purchase. Let's see what our cover page. This will be the page I will be coloring. I'm not sure my strategy for this page, but it has a bunch of different objects, and I will maybe do a count and see if I want to run through and do all my sets of pencils on this page with this really unique glossy paper that really lends itself to markers. But I would be curious to see how the pencils do on this glossy, thick cardstock. Hidden Oceans has already had the title page colored. So when I hit this page, I do want to, I'm not quite done with it though. I remember I was working on the background, which only has one layer of indigo blue. So I will probably come back to, when I hit this one, I will do a little more coloring on the background to finish it up. This is the only one, oh no, there's 3 books that I did buy last year. This will be the page we will color on this one. A cute little fox, perfect for fall. I don't know why foxes are a fall thing. If you guys know why foxes are interesting for fall, let me know. All right, Mountain King. I will be doing this page. That also sort of looks fall-ish. Love the dragon there. I was struggling a bit after the finishing of Fred, and he was so big and challenging that I wanted to find something smaller, simple. Here you go. You can't get more simple than a nice, easy mushroom. This is Hannah Carlzon. I bought two of these books on a buy two get one free from Amazon, I think a couple years ago. But I haven't touched them, so I really want to touch them. And some more simple mushrooms. So that is going to be our game plan. We do have plenty of time to color, so I'm going to pop away and grab some colors so that we can make some progress. Dawn and I colored this on Wednesdays, and I'll probably be coloring with her on Wednesdays in the same strategy, because she is going through her small collection of coloring books. She has picked her book, but she's only going to do one. I believe Oh, it's a miniatures one. I'll try to get the name of it. And she's going to do start to finish on hers as well. And her first title page was really complicated. So she's going to be working on that for a few visits. So I will be back in one moment and we'll get to coloring. All right, I have collected some Holbein colors. We're going to use Holbeins. That's what I started this with. I am coloring this because I just placed a small order and am now 12 away from completing the set of the colors that I want. I'm not collecting neons nor the metallics. So that is going to be its own episode, and I wanted to have this image colored to talk about my experiences coloring with these. And it has been a while since I have used them. So here are the door colors. The door is going to be wood tones. I picked kind of an eclectic set so we can get some nice vibrant colors, starting with on the lightest side the 175, sand, khaki 194, cocoa 98, burnt umber 180, and sepia 182. So we are just going to dive right in. This is Amazon paper, so it's very thin, it's rough, so the quality is a little bit lacking, I would say. And I can go ahead and zoom you in closer. So after I finished Fred, I have made a couple of purchases, so I'll be videoing those, one being the Holbeins that I purchased, a small set. They were on sale, and so I could not pass it up. These don't go on sale very often, and it seems like the sale was a sale. All of the brands, or all of the box stores that carry them, had them on the sale, all for the same price. So I was shopping around for the best shipping deal that I could find. We are still in the 90s here in Florida. It did cool off for a little while, but then it ramped back up again. So I am glad to have a strategy for fall and winter coloring. I really wanted to make myself use these books that I bought brand new. Now, Fragile Worlds, which is the book Fred is in, I own 2 copies. I bought a used copy, not realizing that I had been given a new copy years and years ago that I then had spliced. I had used it and made copies. I think I've colored a couple of copied pages. So I'm really glad I colored him, so that I can say that I did color one of my original books, no less. And now I can say that that task is done, and I'm moving on to coloring in my new books. I do own Magical Worlds, and I have colored in 4 pages of that book. So I didn't feel like I had to pull that one out again. I haven't done the title page, so after I finish getting all of these books colored in, I could add in Magical Worlds and get all of the title pages. So rather than going to the next page inside, I could pull out my older, I have a few, not even as many as these, just a few older books, brand new, that I could color. But I wanted to keep my rotation somewhat small. I wanted to make sure it was favorites, and I know that I have bought some books longer back in the past that today maybe wouldn't be as interesting, and these were all books that called to me, and I bought them because they are of current interest to me. So what I am doing here, I haven't even mentioned it, is I just grabbed 182 Sepia, which is the current darkest brown, and I'm going in and doing some shadows. These are very soft. I feel like I want to sharpen this one already. And I don't think it's necessarily the pencils. It's this very soft, pulpy feeling paper that I think gives me the urge to sharpen. So what I am going to do I've noticed that the artist has these swirly, tendrily wood grain lines all on the left side all the way across. So I think I'm going to make sure that I shadow the wood more on the left side. And I might even add, we'll see if I end up adding some of my own additional wood grain faint lines. I do have the lightest cream. I'm going to be trying to get rid of the tooth. That's in the flowers. I focused on the tooth as well, so we'll be consistent with that. I am going to now sharpen this before I switch. Do a little bit more. I can even bring you guys in closer. Whoops, wrong way. I might come back in when I do the rocks I might come back in and do some overlay gray shadows here and there on the door itself. We will see. So it has been almost a year since my mom and her husband relocated to Florida, and he went back. My mom is not interested in returning at this time, so he flew back so he could hang out with his daughter and friends. And he reported that he put jeans on the first day in the morning, and by, I don't know, 10, he couldn't stand it anymore and he had to put shorts on. Oop, got a little too hard on that. I've noticed that these will break. They are pretty soft, so you do have to be careful with the tips when they're sharp. Okay, so there's the first door color I've got. Next, I want to do some Burnt Umber 180. And this is a nice warm tone. So I'm just making a nice little blend between these two. I feel the need to sharpen. It will be interesting going through all these different coloring books with the different papers that they were printed on. I also have to confess that my current paper that I own for the coloring classes, which is the Nina Bristol Vellum, it's pretty toothy, and as I color in the smooth new coloring books, you know, like the Magical Worlds, even doing the Fred the Turtle, that was a very smooth paper. It makes me not like this paper all the more. I'm leaving some areas for the lighter tones. I still have 2 more light tones, though the lightest I think is going to be more for blending. Okay, I can always decide I want more of this tone. I'm going to now move to another fun tone, and it isn't sharpened at all. This is what they look like when they come. This is Cocoa 198, and it is one that I did just buy, which is why it's not sharpened. I've already talked about, or I will, if I haven't released it yet. The problem is, what order will I release these? Holbein, I decided, being that they are a very spendy pencil, and one of the few expensive pencils I didn't own when I started my channel. I decided that I would slow collect them and just enjoy the experience of collecting and not stress that I was paying too much. I do try to find them on sale and used. So this has a nice orange tint to it. So that has been, I started collecting them. I did live in the house. I was here when I bought my first 15, I think it was. And I was doing small victories, which I have colored with the Holbeins in small victories on 7 different pages, and so that episode will review every page I've colored in small victories. I had a swatch at one point. For the longest time I owned a small set of 50 before I ended up buying 2. I think a lot came up for sale on eBay, and that started the whole progression. Beyond the 50, I am adding in some darker lines with this lovely cocoa color. It seems, so this cocoa color to me seems very reddish. Okay, now we're moving on to a color I owned. It's not a new one because it's already sharpened. Khaki 194. And I might, it's not very sharp. I'm gonna see if it can do some blending for us. You get the tooth filled in. And then we have our lightest color. So yes, I believe that I will post this daily color episode first. I just made that decision on the fly. I am working on the other episode of my progression with the Holbeins and how my coloring with them has gone, what I think of them, my notes that I've kept. You know, it's all a moment in time. How these things work out. So I've noticed on this image, I haven't left a lot of white, on a little bit of white, so I'll need to consider that. I have moved to the lightest tone, Sand 175, also already sharpened, so not new. I'm using the sand for pretty much the burnishing part and then extending a little bit into the white areas. So it is adding a milky tone, which means I will have to, this is like the joy of a very soft pencil where it really puts a layer over the top. So I will be coming back in. I'm going to go back to my darkest brown, sepia, 182. And I'm going to do like a glaze over the top. See where the lines are. And I'm okay making my own fresh lines. Trying to get nice, really dark nooks and crannies. I see some crumbs. We have a little bit of crumbs going on. Trying to make the shadows on the left more shadowy than the shadows on the right. I want to get, this is the orangey color that's Cocoa, 98. And I'm going to add some more little lines. I do like that I can keep adding. There's enough tooth still that I can add some more texture over the top, even though I have fully burnished, so that is nice. All right, I'm going to move on now. I've set those aside. I have 3 grays to do the rocks. We'll start. I did the trick that I have used in the past is kind of going every other color. So we're doing, because these are nice, very nicely labeled and organized, which I love, rather than giving them crazy names, they are just 2, 4, 6, and that's number 532, 534, 536. These are cool grays. This number 2 is a new one. So I am sharpening the lightest gray. I picked there's 2 gray tones, cool gray and warm gray, and I chose the cool gray partially to keep the rocks to be looking very different than the wood, but also I own more of the cool gray. In fact, I have the full set of the cool gray and warm gray. I am missing one of them. So starting with the shadows, which are going to be the bottom of each rock. Lucky is now taking all of his toys. He has woke up and he's flinging his toys out of his toy box. That's actually right by his bed. He is just the funniest cat. I think that this is wood as well. I'll have to come back and do that. We're probably going to hear Hub has come home. So he and the cat are interacting, which means now we don't have to listen to him play with his toys. All right, shadows are all where all these lines are. Trying to make the rocks look curved. That will be my goal. Couldn't remember what these flowers were, so I have written that down. They are Foxglove. And then I used Petunia for these other three. I'm sure there's other Petunia-esque shaped trumpet flowers that could be. And then the third flower, this fancy flower, boy, I don't know what that is, so I'm going to have to be creative. I have not decided what color I want to make it. See, now this dark gray, I can actually extend it a little bit into the brown, like I said I was going to do. Again, using these first lines as my shadow for giving it a three-dimensional look. I hope you are seeing that. Moving on to the next one, which is Cool Gray 4, 534. And I'm going to start with the upper corner and leave the middle areas the lightest tone. I'm using medium pressure. With this book, I will say most everything I'm doing is medium to heavy pressure. This could actually be the dark gray right here. Let's just cruise along here along the top. All right, how are we doing for time? All right, just a couple more minutes. See if we can get the light tone done on the rock portion. All right, moving on to that new color that I just got. Cool Gray 2, 532. Yeah, so I just finished Fred, which was in Prismas. And these have a little bit of a different feel to them. But they're very similar. And I know those people who love Prismas but hate Holbein would say, no, 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 they're totally different. Everybody has a different experience. Pencils are a very personal thing. I'm okay with there being some lines and dots, being that this is stone. I prefer more a mottled look than liney look. Pardon me. There we go. We've got the stone and the wood done. Alrighty. So that's going to be it for this session. And the next time you see me, it will be coloring the rest of the wood. We've got metal. And then we've got 2 flowers and all of the leaves to do. Thank you all for joining me today. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing, and everyone take care, and I'll see you on the next one.